Good day. So how do the Archons have a physical grip on your body, every cell in your body? How so, Benjamin Cowenberg from consciousazine.net? um, well, so the Archons, in a spiritual sense, are coming through physical material bodies. This is along the lines of the idea of a human body as an organic portal. And when they don't have their minded, spirited, will force nature in them, they appear to be empty and devoid of that self-spirited, self-thinking nature. And they appear to be part of an unconscious collective and a hive mind nature. And, I'm saying that is corrupted. The hive mind of our species morphogenic field has undergone a corruption, pardon me. And, Archons, they like to create virtual realities. I've heard nobody say this, hence subscribe to this channel, Philosopher's Stone Tube, because I come up with all these little overlooked opportunities and overlooked philosophies and connect extra dots. So that's why you should subscribe. Because I don't want to echo, I don't want to repeat and copy, the content of others. If I hear content, then I have to add to it, because I'm not just a content thief, you morons who have been brainwashed by a single woman's video. Morons. You don't even know the story, anyway. So back to what I was saying. So, the Archons, they create virtual realities. They like to create a virtual reality for you, so they can just keep you infinitely. That's what that's about. Because it's understood that we are moving beings. Yeah, we move through time, we evolve, so on and so forth. We are moving. The Archon understands this, and they want to trap you infinitely. How would you trap someone infinitely? In a virtual reality, since reality moves on, right? And it's multidimensional, you ascend through strata and all this. They need a way to, trap you for, the energy sucking, stealing, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff that the Archons love, right? So they trap you infinitely via a virtual reality. That's why I'm going on about, I'm not anti-gaming. I love sitting down and smoking and having a game, all right? It's legit relaxation. I like it. But, I don't do it often, especially not out here anymore. But if I'm ever at a friend's house, yeah, sure, let's game. We'll have a quick game and, whatever game it is. I like first-person shooters because they're exciting, like Call of Duty and all that. Oh, sorry, didn't I mention the latest Fortnite? Oops, I'm so out of the loop. Anyway, Fortnite's a good example of these games getting huge to the point where you can play them all day and all night. You see, then you're in there all day and all night. You see it? And so what I'm saying is, no, they're not necessarily behind games, but maybe I should talk about that another day. But they love to, work with these technologies in a way that's taking your energy and time. And if you buy the game, you had to pay for it with money, which is energy, because you had to work for that money with your body's energy in some form. Okay, maybe you got a Christmas present, but then someone in your family's worked for it. Just generally, the idea is that money is energy. You obtain it by going to work, you get the money, and then you buy the game, right? So, that's how I mean it. So, that is them already taking your energy. Then they're taking your time. You're sitting there all day, right? And it's like this. Now, the reason I get in and uppity about this is because the future is virtual realities up the yin-yang. This can be everywhere. Like, you won't be able to walk in a city without it, you know, all the intrusion of 3D holography coming down to try and sell you the latest underwear or whatever. The latest game in this context, I guess, for this video. But basically the idea is, you know, it's going to be more and more prevalent. And, you know, the old arcade with playing Frogger is going to turn into you put on a virtual reality helmet. You know what I mean? So people are going to forget about this old beautiful nature out here. And, you know, it's just the infinitization of VR. We're hitting that point. Someone once said, do you know why VR exists? And the person said, no, why? And they said, it's so that we never leave. Get it? So we never go to Alpha Centauri for real. So we maintain on the planet in a slavery system to the elites. Then maybe they get to travel to Alpha Centauri, but you won't. And, you know, it's so that we never leave, so you do it virtually. Look, today I'm going to Alpha Centauri, but it's in my virtual reality machine. That is indeed the future. Is very obvious, and you know that I will refer to that movie actually, that Ready Player One movie. That's a pretty interesting movie. You know, a lot of conspiratorial write-ups been done on that, I'm sure. But you know what I mean, like that's literally going to be the future. And what I mean by that is, you see how at the start of the movie he transgresses down all the junk like container homes that they live in, because people have just given up on the world and then gone, oh well, we'll escape via VR. Well, you should be escaping via psychedelics from nature, which teach you to love nature, keep nature alive, and you get to escape. Do you see how they're doing it wrong? It's because society and culture have trekked 100% in the opposite direction of nature and the psychedelics. You know, we've gone away from truth, not towards truth. And that's the conglomerate mass. Most people, not less people, most people are walking that way. I call it synthetic societal miasma. And, you know, it's obviously an ignorance of the ego and all this. Anyway, back to the Archon story, the main part of this story of this video. So they want to, you know, trap you infinitely, and the best way to trap someone infinitely is, hey, give them virtual reality. They'll consent to their capture. What does that ring a bell? The everyday world, yes. But you see that, right? So, you know, you're an Archon, you want to, you know, keep someone in your pain psychotronic matrix grip, energy steal, whatever, feel you're in control because you're psycho. You need to feel like you're in control in a uncontrollable universe, by the way. That's how we know their ego, because you know, the ego tries to separate and say, yes, I can control the entire universe. Dun, dun. Then comes 10 minutes later and the wave of light overflows them. Anyway, so this is the general nature of the Black Alliance, you know, right now trying to stop humanity's evolution, you know, stopping technologies and so on. It's because there is an Archon invasion. Just wanted to relate this to my video here, that I am aware of what everybody else is saying about Archons. It's just I'm trying to add something in, be a voice, not an echo. So you'll hear no one else say that, and I'm going to say it over and over again because it's obvious, and it's because it's got to do with the 8th dimension, and I understand the 8th dimension as code coordination. That is also why the Archons, they are said to be 8th dimensional relative too. And the reason I say all this is because the good guys, the Andromedan Octurians, let's just go with Octurians for now. Octurians are also 8th dimensional. And, you know, it is currently, yes, the star of Arcturus and the galaxy of Andromeda, not the constellation. It is currently the Andromedan enlightenment via Arcturian alignment. So that means, you know, lining up with algorithm, lining up with technology, not being, you know, over hippie and being, oh, I'm just going to sit on the grass, I don't need a computer. You're better with both. You see, it's months ago I'd done that video on minimalism is not the way, because the universe is always evolving for more and more. So, you know, minimalism is like another NPC to NPC you out, so you have less resources and so on. Where was I? Okay, so, oh yeah, so, you know, the good guys are like the Arcturian 8th dimensionals, and I'm also the only one in the whole world. Yep, just at play here, indigo at play, swinging my legs in deep theory. That's why I did that. I'm also the only one in the whole world to say algorithmic nature in general is Arcturian. Arcturian, given Arcturian nature, however you want to put it. You'll hear that nowhere else. That's probably why you should subscribe. Because no, I didn't content thief it, you moron. I came up with this. It came through me. Because I'm not just an echo, I'm a voice, yeah? So, you know, the Archons, back to the bad guys of the 8th dimension, they want to trap you in an infinite virtual reality, and that's why I get up about this whole virtual reality of the future thing. But now back to the main place I started, and the thought that created this video was about the mucosal layer that we have over us and how they control every cell in your body via that mucosal layer, because that's the part that's interacting with everywhere in your body. You see it? Yes, they're very sneaky. Through your own mucosa, through your own will, to eat the sugar product, to drink that drink, etc. Through your, see, it's much easier to control you via your own consent. Oh, here, we'll make the drink that we need to control them just taste good, and then they'll drink it, and we don't have to shove it down their throat. And so everybody's on Coca-Cola. Sue me, I don't care. See if you can even find me in the jungle, how deep I bet I'll have to go after saying all this stuff. They'll come for you. Anyway, so, you know, these soft drinks, all of that stuff, the sugar products. Have you noticed that it's like a beehive? When you smoke out a beehive, what do? You get smoke, you get leaves, you smoke out the bees. But what happens, why don't they attack you, is because they get stressed by the smoke and they gorge on the honey and then they chill out. The honey is like their cannabis. They gorge on the honey and then they relax. And have you noticed that the same thing is going on in society? The sugar products are rigmarolled in different chemical contortions, but they're everywhere, in every single shop, in every single country and town, everywhere in the world. You'll find, you know, the proverbial lollipop, or like Coca-Cola, or, you know what I mean? Just some sugar product. It will be there. And isn't that funny? You know, it's like a hive mind of the human species, you know, a beehive. Just joining some dots. Anyway, so the idea of this video was that they control you, the Archons control you via, I've said this before, the pain. Oh, need to eat something, that tapeworm. Oh, I've got some serious pain in my gut, I need to eat something. That's the tapeworm, my friend. I don't experience that. Why don't I experience that pain? Because I don't have a massive bloody tapeworm reeling in my gut, you know, asking for meat every few hours. That feeling, that's him. That's the tapeworm. So, you know, I've said this before, that the tapeworm is associated, and, you know, it's said somewhere, I can't remember where or who, but it's been said somewhere, like gnostically, that the parasites are indeed associated with, like, what you might think of astral parasites, like the Archons, like in the astral, in the higher dimensions, ooh, in your mind, oh, it's just a figment of your imagination. I'm saying this is all real, just like the air you breathe and you can't see this air. Why? How come I can't grab it? Oh, it must not be real. Oopsie. You see how the air is real though? just because I can't see it doesn't wish it away. Well, it's the same with the astral beings or dimensional beings or these astral parasites like Archons. Now, good. You've come to light of consciousness. Fantastic. So now what I'm saying is that the Archons, these spirits from higher dimensions in your mind, they work with the physical parasites of the human body. The worms we're focusing on today. But what I've discovered via my own, just watching my body for years, for a decade or whatever, is that the worms work with the mucosal viruses and bacterial colonies in your body. And all three of these chumps, they work together because they're all on the parasitic nature. They're not symbiotic, yeah? So they all work together. They're like, yep, we've got this big host body, Benjamin, let's suck him dry. So trust me, they work together. You can see this by the undulating of your own body. Just become used to meditating and watching how your synovial fluid releases and all the way through how your nervous system fires and all of it. You've got to watch all the undulations of the body and you'll come to the same conclusion as me that these parasites, they all work together. So the worm, the tapeworm is like the big king, boss parasite. He's the big guy. Now, they're a parasite. They can't keep parasites off themselves. So they're covered in these mucosal bacterial parasitic nature colonies and all this and viruses, right? They're all mingling on the skin of the tapeworm and, they're almost like in one hive mind communication with each other. It's like he or she, the tapeworm, is probably androgynous. I can't even remember if they have boys or girls. But it is like the Borg queen. That's all. It's just like the controller. And, it gets the mucosal membrane traveling up your throat to either side of the back of your throat. And you can feel this. And I always say that it's like your parasites have hold of you like reins on a horse. You turn a horse via the reins. It's exactly how the parasites are treating the human body. Oh, turn right. Oh, look at that Snickers bar in the window. Wouldn't you like that Snickers bar or that Mars bar? Oh, look, there's Fanta or Coca-Cola. And that's how they work, And they'll, yes, even, have your eyes in the reins. The mucosa is the reins of the horse. Do you understand? So the tapeworm, controls you via mucosal reins, like a reindeer or a horse. You're the horse. And, it's said that, and I do believe this for sure now, just seems to correlate, that the Archons and other astral parasites, but we're talking about Archons today, they work in conjunction with this. And I've said in a video before that that pain constriction of the tapeworm, that's the exact frequency of the Archon psychotronic pain. They're trying to do that to you with, outside frequencies in society, like even this 5G kill grid, this 5G bloody Wi-Fi everywhere. I'm not so sure this is a fantastic idea. And it might be, but it might be a kill grid. And furthermore, if it's not something that drastic, it is, more of a psychotronic overlay or an unnatural frequency which gets in the way of you picking up the frequencies from what Earth is trying to tell you that the universe is doing. So wherein tomorrow you would synchronistically walk into a situation in your life where someone would take you into an underground bunker if the pole shift occurred and the ice age happened, just because of that synchronicity. But you'll miss that because you're covered in these frequencies of the Wi-Fi. That's my problem with it. I'm not like so much, kill grid. I'm just realizing it for what it really is at immediate value. It's another frequency placed over the natural frequencies. So it's going to disturb the natural frequency integration, you see. That's the problem I mainly have with that type of Wi-Fi system. We're going to have to move to like Tesla towers or something. Anyway, so the Archons, you know, they work with the parasites in your body to physically have control over every cell. So I've worked you all the way through it now. You see it, right? Well, it's as easy as, you know, the Archon is a higher dimensional thing. Now, just like you control your body subtly, very subtly with your spirit, it is a spirit who controls organic portal bodies, and your body is an OP body. Generally, it's a monkey body too, whether you're a soul or spirited human or not. It's just we have more conscious control and can make conscious decisions. But so the spirits control these bodies, right? And literally now you've been shown even on cell by cell basis. It's not just via the tapeworm in the stomach and then it ends there. No, because the tapeworm's then connected. It has the bigger mind, so it over psychics. Its psychic kills or says shut up to the little worms. I'm the big worm. So it's the number one, but then it tells the little worms what to do, and then they're manufacturing viruses, and those little worms and the viruses are working together to destroy some tissue or something, and then they work with a bacterial colony to get some food from the mouth, food from the stomach or whatever, and then the mucosal membrane is running throughout your entire body, touching every cell in your body, coming over it, covering your cell even. You see? So it's complete control. That's why sugar really is so dastardly. You see it? It's not just, oh yeah, sugar acts like, you know, cocaine on the dopamine receptor. That's the kiddie end of the pool, my friends. The deeper end of the pool is that sugar allows the most terrible spirits in this matrix to fully control every cell in your body. That's the deep end of the pool. Which means, you know, we're all susceptible.